Okay, I don't know how this talking part's gonna go, but we're gonna see. So, this is gonna be the basics of cutting a tree. The very basics. So right here, we got this little dogwood. About to cut it down. It's got a little dead in it. And they want to cut. About as small as you get. And I'm gonna teach y'all the very basics. First thing we're gonna do, take a look around it. And this is, you know, you ain't gotta do this for all your small trees, but this is saying for a good sized tree, I'm just gonna use a small tree to teach y'all. First thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna clear out all the brush around it. So we ain't got no trip hazards, nothing like that. Next thing we're gonna do, I know I got a truck right there and we don't wanna touch the truck. I got a big clear landing zone right here. That's where we're gonna drop it. Especially since we already got a little bit of lean going that way. Another thing I want to do is this limb right here. This is already a low hanger, and I'll take off a good bit of weight off the back, so I'm gonna go ahead and clear that branch out too. I'll show y'all some basics on that. We get these last little blocks out, and y'all won't be able to hear me, but I'm gonna do a, now this is a pruning cut. I'm gonna just do it to teach y'all. Normally I wouldn't do it if I'm taking the tree out, but on my pruning cut, first cut is gonna be under. I'm gonna cut 2/3. Next cut's gonna be over here on the back side. You can go over here, but it's bad habit, because if I go over here and it falls, it'll take my saw with it. So I want to go on the back side. I'll show y'all that. And then finally, I'm gonna cut it right at the root collar. This part right here, see how it starts widening out? All this back is your root collar. You want to save that. If I'm saving this tree, I'd want to save all that wood, and then you'll start compartmentalizing from there. Y'all probably won't be able to hear me with the saw running, but I'll show y'all. It's called a break cut. So whenever I cut under, cut back over, it's called a break cut, and it breaks off, falls flat. A lot more techniques you can use for that, but that's some basics. That right there, that's my pruning cut. I got a good bit of collar, good bit of collar on there. I'm gonna leave it, and then that'll keep a healthy cut, so whenever this dies out, that compartmentalizing, keep the rest of the tree good to go. Another little thing I do, assuming I was trying to keep this tree, even though I'm not, but just for the purpose of it, is I'll take this dead out too. I don't just break it, I want to do the same thing. This one don't have as much weight. Okay, now what I did there, assuming I was trying to keep this tree healthy, took out all your little stuff like that. That's called sucker growth. That sucks all your nutrients out, going to the stem, getting to the leaves. That's where you want all your nutrients. Other thing I did is I made this little cut right here. Even though I nicked that a little bit, normally I wouldn't even cut with this big of a saw, but it's not a big deal because this tree is coming down. But that's another pruning cut. If I got a limb that's sticking out, even though I want my bigger section gone, but I want to leave this, now I'm gonna cut right at it, causing another little collar. Next thing we're gonna do, we're gonna go ahead and notch this tree out and fell it. What's up, buddy? You ready to cut this tree? Make sure you stay back, okay? Oh yeah, let me talk to y'all about another couple things. Cut this up. Move this out my way. I'm my work zone. Trying to figure out if I want to do a traditional notch or a Humboldt. I'll probably do I'll show y'all the difference. So your conventional notch would be, you make, come here, right here, 2/3 of the way, or 1/3 of the way, and I'd come down here. But I don't really use that a whole lot, and the reason why is it'll keep your stem held onto the tree. I want that to pop off. So I'm gonna make a what's called a Humboldt notch, which I cut flat here and cut under. And I'll show y'all how that works out. As you can see on this chainsaw, got this little line. That's your line of sight. So now I got my notch. I'm gonna check it. As you can see, I don't know if y'all can see that. Try to get a good view of that. As you can see, I got it like right there. I got what's called a Dutchman, and I kind of did it on purpose with this so y'all can see. But all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my chainsaw, I'm gonna tickle this out. I want to get all this out because I don't want that, because that can snap off my hinge wood. And I'll show y'all what the hinge wood is too. But I want to fix that before I get to cutting this tree down. What's up, buddy? Watch out. Good. So all I'm gonna do, take my chainsaw. Now I got that fixed up. I'm trying to get a good angle so y'all can see it. Okay, and then there goes that. I'm gonna show y'all another little, and this is all assuming this would be a big tree. Normally I'd never take this much time on a tree like this, but just for learning purposes, next thing I'm gonna do is what's called side cuts. So what my goal is here is whenever I start coming in the back, I cut in the back. This section that I want to leave amount of wood on both sides. So I want to make sure it's even whenever I come to the back side. And what that does is that allows it to, it's what holds this from going this way or that way. It wants to, I want to put it right where that notch is, with my line of sight lined up. So that's why I keep this hinge wood, holding wood. There's people call all types of different things, but I've always heard it called holding wood or hinge wood. So next thing I'm gonna do is, if I was running a conventional notch, I'd come up a little higher, but I'm running a Humboldt. So I'm gonna come right here. I'm gonna just make probably go about that deep, because this is a very small bit of bark. So I want to go and just get the bark off, and I'll show y'all after I make them what that does. So some people think that I make that cut to line up my back, but that is not true. I make this cut so whenever this tree starts falling, now especially on bigger trees or trees that have real thick bark, bark, whenever this tree starts coming down, it will hold here and it'll pull it to a side, and I don't want that, especially with this, because I don't want this side holding, because even though my notches face this way, it's got a little bit more lean this way. So I want to make sure that I don't have nothing going towards that truck. And then now all I gotta do is make my back cut, and this will be a felling tree. Oh, another thing I'm looking for before I make that back cut is my plan of escape. Like I said, this small tree, not a big deal. Bigger trees, it is a big deal. So I'm facing it here. Normally I'd never be here, but just for learning purposes. Where are my escape routes? My notch is facing this way, so my escape routes would be either way. So I want to have 2 escape routes, and both cleaned out. So just for learning purposes, I'm gonna move this out my way. Now I got my escape route. Make sure there ain't nothing to trip on, nothing to fall on. I'll move this out the way. And now I'm ready to make that back cut. And remember, I want to keep the same amount of hinge wood on both sides. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put this all up here and I balance it out. And I'm coming straight back, come straight out, not running it, and I go straight in. And I don't want to run it wide open, I just want to tickle it. And I'll show you what I mean by that. Line of escape. I see it start falling, I'm gonna back up. That's my line of escape, as you can see here. So normally I would want to even, but like I said, that side had more lean, so I'm gonna leave more holding wood on this side than that side. That's why I cut it like that, because I want to make sure it don't go nowhere near that truck. Now all I gotta do now is cut it up and clean up. Hey, you want to stump high?
No.
Cut it low?
Yeah. Yeah, because I'm going to have to grind that and all that other stuff out.
All right.
Thank you.
Customer said they want the stump cut low, so that's all I'm going to do. With this, customers, yeah, you can technically cut it down here, but I want to cut it just a little bit above so I ain't having no problems with my chainsaw. I make sure I ain't in no dirt, and I keep my chain nice and sharp.